high UNC official met any PDP official?
You don't need the UNC to pass the bill.
This is the worst and they need to go.
Fire burn you, Guardian.
How much more could we tolerate?
You lack the intellect and the competence.
Everywhere else is vaccinating except Trinidad and Tobago.
You cannot pay people money that you owe them.
Almighty God, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. Amen.
Good night. Greetings to the political leader, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, members of Parliament, NATEX, councillors and aldermen, constituency executives, party activists, ladies and gentlemen, and all viewers. I am Joshel Uday, activist from the constituency of Mayaro and co-chair for this evening. Welcome to the UNC's True Talk Thursday virtual platform. As our great party continues to strengthen the mechanisms to ensure that all representatives of the people have a voice and a platform to report to the national community and all current affairs affecting our constituencies and region. Tonight, you, the viewers, will get an insight into the issues affecting the constituency of Mayaro and, by extension, the diverse region of Mayaro, Rio Claro, and the continuous failures of this most incompetent and worthless government ever. Tonight, we are pleased to bring to the fore a blend of experienced, seasoned party stalwarts and new millennium representatives of the UNC. This is True Talk Thursday, the Mayaro version. Our first speaker is a consummate cricketer and avid sportsman, a faithful party stalwart who started off his political activism in the constituency of Nariva. He is happily married and a proud father of 2 boys, both renowned cricketers who have represented Trinidad and Tobago. He is a devoted Muslim and diligent community servant, a graduate of the Rio Claro College, an executive member of Rio Claro Sports Association and Navet Sports Club. Present chairman of the Mayaro Constituency Executive, a man who is passionate and very effective in the discharge of his duties to the people, representing the wonderful people of the rich agricultural community of Eckersville for the past 10 years and serving his 4th term in office. It is my honor to invite to the podium on this True Talk Thursdays, the hairless and the fearless Councillor Shafiq Mohammed.
Political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, MP Rushton Parry, my colleagues from the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, brothers and sisters all. And let me extend to our Muslim community, Ramadan Mubarak. Tonight, we are indeed happy to be on this platform, True Talk Thursday, as the United National Congress informs the population about the issues affecting the lives of Trinidad and Tobago. I have been serving in the regional corporation for the last 11 years, and the people of Mayaro Rio Claro region can boast that the best time of their lives was under the UNC, led by Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. One area I must touch on tonight that benefited the people of this region for the first time under the UNC was the area of sports. For years, the sportsmen and sportswomen of the region have been crying out for basic amenities to improve their discipline, but to no avail. Tonight, I can boast of recreation grounds that under the UNC and Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa that now have lighting installation. For the first time, to name some, Union Recreation Ground, Eckersville Recreation Ground, La Savane Recreation Ground, Mafikin Recreation Ground, Navet Recreation Ground, Shell Recreation Ground, Guayari Recreation Ground, Beach Recreation Ground, and I can go on and on and on. And that is what you call True Talk. Because of the vision of the United National Congress and investing in sports, 4 young men, Romario King, Kalim Mohammed, Nikhail Jalim, and Ricardo Chase, made it to the Southeast Under-15 national team. And representatively, they are young national players on trials for Trinidad and Tobago and West Indies Under-19 teams. The people of Mayaro have, for the first time, a state-of-the-art indoor facility that the PNM had no vision to build, but the UNC delivered. Just like the Aquatic Center and the National Cycling Velodrome, these were built under the UNC. We can boast that the best minister of sports of the country has ever seen, Mr. Arnold Roberts, not like the present PNM Minister of Sports. But today, when you look at these sporting facilities, they have been run down. Because of the lack of releases by this wicked PNM government, the sporting facility in the region have become to deteriorate. The only hope they have to see improvement of sporting facilities in the future is the return of the United National Congress, led government under our esteemed leader. I am speaking to you tonight about sports, but another area I am passionate about is our young people and youth development. We are at the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation have seen an influx of young people coming to see what opportunities are available to them. Imagine in Rio Claro, you have an office of the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs, but the PNM Youth Minister of Sports saw it fit to close that office. You think the PNM cares about young people of this country? Under the UNC, the young people of this country had hope, they had dreams, and they had better lives. Imagine a program like GATE, with thousands of young people benefited, have scaled down. Imagine UTT centers have been closed. This PNM government have seen it fit to reduce the number of scholarships to the young men and women who deserve it. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, education was a priority to all, and that is True Talk. As counselor for the Ecozil and serving for the people of the last 11 years, I'm proud to say that under the UNC-led government, the people of Legion, Mahabal Singh, moved from dirt tracks to paved roads for over 10 miles. Water for the first time in the Union Village after 98 years. The Union Village and surrounding areas got water, pipe-borne water. Access road, built in the agricultural communities such as Raj Poultries, Monan Trace, Mahabal Singh Branch number 1 and 2, Makmohan Trace, Noel Trace, just to name a few. Development of the Legion Road recreation facilities to benefit that community. As counselor for Ecozil, I have been in discussion with groups and organizations in the establishment of agro processing plant, as my area has a lot of raw materials. This would benefit our farmers in selling our crops and create employment for the people of the region. If you look at the UNC manifesto for the 2020 general election, this was one of our plans for the area of agro processing. We had plans. We had a vision, unlike this government. The UNC delivered to the people of Ecozil. Before I close, I would like to thank the farmers of Navid Village, Legion, and Mahabal Singh for pooling their personal resources together to build agricultural access road that will benefit over 100 farmers to feed our nation. That is True Talk. That is true resilience. Tonight, I want to thank our leader for fighting the fight for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the region of Mayaro, Rio Claro. Long live the United National Congress. Long live the political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Councillor Shafiq Mohammed, representing the District of Ecozil. Good night again and welcome to True Talk Thursday at the virtual platform. Good night to all the viewers on the various social media platforms who have been following this component of accountable governance by the United National Congress. And of course, it is a fact that presently we are at the crossroads of failed nation status in Trinidad and Tobago under this blighted, incompetent PNM government. Councillor Mohammed would have highlighted to you that nothing has been done by the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago for sport development and sport tourism in the region of Mayaro, Rio Claro. At the regional corporation, in the last fiscal year, we only received a mere $800,000 to service and upgrade more than 24 recreation grounds. It's continuous neglect and abandonment as is par for the course by this regime. At this time, brothers and sisters, I'd like to welcome the next speaker, to the virtual platform. Coming from a rich lineage of UNC activism as her uncle, the formidable Glenn Ram, her mother, aunts, and entire their family clan have been the pillars and unwavering flag bearers of the UNC in the Bish Charuma and Kumuto Manzanilla area for decades. A graduate of the College of Science and Applied Arts, Trinidad and Tobago. She is the holder of a science degree in radiography, a certificate in computed tomography. A radiographer by profession, she is intelligent, witty, articulate, and very practical. This young professional is the first female representative for the electoral district of Bish Charuma, with a commitment to advancing the development agenda of her district. Please welcome to True Talk Thursday, show some love for Councillor Charlene Jo Muna.
Pleasant good night to you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for those kind words. Esteemed political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, distinguished MP, and fellow team members at the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Pleasant good evening to you, the viewers, via all social media platforms. A pleasant good night. In this time of deceit and propaganda by the PNM, the UNC is here to deliver the truth. I am Charlene Muna, the councillor for Bish Charuma. I have been in office just over 15 months now. As a young woman, I have always admired our esteemed leader, a person whose only mission is to improve the lives of people in Trinidad and Tobago. The compassion our leader continues to show for our nation sets her above the rest. She is a true mother of Trinidad and Tobago. At the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, I was given the opportunity to chair the Public Health Committee of the Council. It has been quite challenging at times, but we continue to do our best to ensure the health of the residents of the region, as this is a top priority. But there is only so much that we can continue to do with limited funding. The Minister of Finance and the central government is continuing to starve the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation for funding. We are only receiving funding for scavenging, and I pray this reaches us to the end of the financial year. Imagine, we may not even be able to pick up your garbage. This is a basic service that is supposed to be provided at the regional corporation. At this time, we have to shelve major projects within the corporation that would have assisted with the issue of flooding, an issue that plagues the region of Mayaro. Under the UNC, led by the astute leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we had a flood mitigation program. This was in place to clean minor water courses that would have helped minimize flooding. My colleagues, they know it all too well, the major loss residents face within the Mayaro region year after year, with no compensation. I follow Ms. Kisoon in Mafikin, my brother Shafik in Union, my brother David in Pool Valley, and this PNM government refuses to release funding. They are a heartless government that has no concern for the well-being of the region. You want the truth? This is the truth. Another issue at the forefront in health is managing the spread of COVID-19 virus, and other diseases. Since 2020, we have been dealing with a major pandemic, and I must commend the Member of Parliament here tonight for Kumoto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Ragbir, for choosing Beast Chiruma to launch a series of public consultations to educate the public on the dreaded COVID-19 virus and the vaccine, when this government failed to give the public any information concerning such. How are we supposed to curb, minimize, and eradicate the spread of viruses when the truth is there's no funding for sanitization, lack of proper equipment for workers, no funding for repair and maintenance of vehicles? At this point in the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, our cesspool emptiers are non-functional. Our water trucks continuously are in need of repairs. The residents of this region who utilize the town centers, the markets within the region, we need to ensure their safety. But this PNM government continues to be wicked. As I mentioned the markets, let me enlighten you tonight, my brothers and sisters, on the current state of agriculture within the region of Mayaro Rio Claro, and by extension, Beast Chiruma, Kokal Mafikin, Ekesville, just to name a few, where the residents depend on agriculture for a living. The food bank of the nation, the River Swamp, falls within this region, but the farmers continue to suffer under the visionless PNM government. The Minister of Agriculture seems to have gone into hibernation. As a councillor, I continue to meet with the farmers groups and farmers to assist in any way possible. There are a number of issues affecting farmers presently. Today, as countries around the world try to sustain their people, we have the opportunity to feed our own nation. But this government does not see agriculture as a priority. That is the truth. Tonight, I am calling on the Minister of Agriculture and his junior minister, we all know him, the sweet potato man, to assist the farmers within the region. We need proper roads in Plamitan and throughout the region. We need the water courses cleaned, proper irrigation and desilting. We need our pumps to be replaced in Plamitan, land tenure for farmers in Plamitan, Bristol, and Ekesville, proper compensation for farmers around the country. This is just to name a few. For far too long, our farmers have gone neglected. There is over 1,000 farmers within this region alone. Yet, our food import bill continues to increase. The PNM continues to show their lack of vision and their inability to improve Trinidad and Tobago. Under the United National Congress and the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, she understood the importance of agriculture. The paving of roads, excavation, desilting was all done. The construction of an agricultural packing house and agro-processing facilities began under the UNC government. Commissioning of the pre-deal larceny program that so many farmers struggle with now. Our manifesto had an insurance policy system to ensure that farmers would have been covered. That is the vision of the UNC. What is the vision of the PNM? They promised the $500 million stimulus package to the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. We have seen what materialized from this. You want the truth? Nothing, nothing, nothing. And what does the PNM stand for? Promises that never materialize. The electoral district of Bish Chiruma have benefited greatly under the United National Congress. Persons of Plummitan, Bish, Chiruma, Kush, Navet, Kildare will forever be grateful to Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa for two things. I grew up without a water supply in Bish. I had to go to a well on a daily basis just to get the basic necessity of water. Under the UNC, we the people of Bish and Plummitan received water for the first time. But the creme de la creme is the opening of the Bish High School and the PNM kept closed for over 10 years. The UNC ensured all safety checks were done and the school was open for the children of the area and environs. Tonight, I want to say thank you to the political leader, to my political leader, on behalf of the people of Bish Chiruma. We know the doom and gloom days will soon be over. As my grandfather would say, time is longer than twine. All bad things will come to an end. We will continue to do the work on the ground. We will continue to stand up for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And when elections are called, better sooner rather than later, we will be victorious. We will once again have a prime minister of the people and for the people in Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Is Bish Chiruma in the house on the live tonight? A powerful message by Ms. Charlene Mona. Our next speaker is a legend in local government. A man with over 2 decades of strong, solid, and dedicated service to the people of Rio Claro North. A household name not only in the region of Mayaro and Rio Claro. He is happily married and a proud father of 2 children. He attended Asja Boy San Fernando and graduated at renowned college. Former manager of 2 insurance companies, a former manager of the Hindu Credit Union Bank, former chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation 2010 to 2016, vice chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation 2019 to present. Going for a record-breaking 22 years as the longest-serving representative in local government history. True Talk Thursday, welcome the Lion of Rio Claro North, Councillor Hazari Ramdeen.
Okay, our chairperson for tonight, honorable political leader, and the best prime minister this country could ever have, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, our member of parliament for Mayaro, Mr. Rushton Parry, other members of parliament, my colleagues at the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, and the viewing public. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. With that kind of introduction, I feel very humbled. But I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm here to speak my mind, speak the truth on True Talk Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe WASA, I'll speak about WASA here tonight. WASA, the area of Mayaro Rio Claro, is without water for a long time. Would you believe the people of Rio Claro North from San Pedro Junction to Libertyville, Fondros Village Pool, are without water for 4 days now? The last time they received water was Sunday morning. And that is not all. It will go on until probably quite Sunday. So the style is now that every week you'll get water once. In this present time where you have this pandemic that is taking place, COVID-19, you have to wash your place, you have to keep sanitizing yourself and your hands and so on, and people have no water. People keep calling me all the time, "Councillor, we don't have any water." And would you believe, WASA don't even have a contracted truck? Not a truck for the past 3 weeks? So how do you expect to service these areas? It's unfair to my people, and I'm not going to sit back and allow things to happen. I'm a very humble person. But when you start to trample on the backs of my people, it was get very rough and irregular at times. So I'm here to let you know that I'm going to stand up and fight for my people. Ladies and gentlemen, at this present time, you telling me that when the population is increasing, WASA still have 8-inch lines running in the area? Their service lines, 8-inch asbestos lines. That is unfair. Where's the vision of WASA? Where's the vision of this government? 8-inch lines that is running through the area. And here what is happening. After you lock down the water for 1 week, you're going to give back the people water for 3 days. So you start to increase the pressure. What would you expect to happen? It's going to burst the lines. And more than even that, the washout valves, the lines that you would normally bleed, they don't do that. So when you increase the water pressure with the air in the lines, it will burst the lines. It is unfair to those people. I'm here to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to sit back, idly back and expecting something. I'm going to get up and make it happen. I'm going to fight them to the end to make sure that my people are well represented. WASA is an essential service. Water is an essential service. People need to have water, ladies and gentlemen. And more than even that, I'll let you know something now. Whenever WASA, there's a burst main, it would take WASA 1 week, and even more than a week, to come and repair the leak. You know what they would tell you? They don't have any equipment. They don't have materials to fix it. So they shut it down and they leave it for a long time. Where is their budgetary allocation that was in the budget? Are they not getting their monies? They are not making the monies available to them to repair those things and get those equipments running? But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you here today, if WASA don't put the house in order, I'm not going to sit back and allow things to happen. Take, for instance, I'm going to deal with roads. Look at the condition of the roads in this constituency. Take, for instance, the Napa River Mayaro Road. It's a main road that would lead to the wealth of this country, BP in Guayari. The road is in a terrible condition. It's bad, it's rough, and irregular in shape. And I want to make this point very clear. As I keep saying, it's corrugated like a sheet of galvanized. Sometimes we believe you're in the sea, riding a boat on a rough day, when the tides are very high. The roads are bad. Would you believe, sitting in my home one day, a nurse from the Rio Claro Health Center went down in a pothole in the pool area and burst a tire. She's asked to go to work. All those holes are big. WASA, and most of all, I want to let you know, WASA is the creator of some of these holes. Because when they repair the lines, they leave it there. And as they open up the water, the lines burst the same place. So you have a pond. You have a reservoir. WASA should start taking water from those ponds that they're creating on the roadway. Ladies and gentlemen, the roads are bad. Look at San Pedro Road. It's in a terrible state. That road links the Napa Mayaro Road to the Tabakit Road. And when you look at that road, it's terribly bad. Look at Dates Road. It's bad. The Kudapo Southern Main Road, it's rough and unshaped at times. Look, when you look at the Tabakit Road, as I said, there's a landslip on the Tabakit Road at Laipool 278 for more than 2 years now. And whenever you speak to the Ministry of Works, they tell you have it on the program to do. When are they going to do it? It's now occupying half of the roadway. It's threatening homes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's unfair to have things like that. Look at the Guayari Road in Rio Claro. Terribly bad. Manzanilla Road and even the Guaya Road from Mayaro going into Guaya, it's bad. What are they doing about it? This PNM government don't have a vision. They lack vision. A leader without a vision will surely lead these people to destruction. The government has a responsibility to explore and develop the state resources and give it back to the people according to their basic needs, not for their own personal gains. What you're seeing happening here now is they're only looking to keep things for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to the PM talk, they tell you they will do one thing and they do another. They speak about fiscal restraint while they secretly negotiate the golden parachutes, where they secretly negotiate the golden parachutes. They speak nicely to you when people are in front of them, and the instant you turn your back, they start to bad talk you, criticize you, and ridicule you. They lack honor. They lack character. They lack integrity. Their video is not in sync with the audio. They will tell you they'll do one thing and they do another. And this is a fact. My dear political leader is the best. With a pastor Rio Claro and in this country, she started to repair the roads, the main roads. But what she did, the first thing she did was to do the infrastructural work by doing the landslips and building the box train, and then she was going to pave the road. But what happened? We no longer in government, so the PNM keep criticizing and they are doing absolutely nothing. I want to tell my leader today, do not let the ashes choke the fire you have lit. Keep that fire burning, ladies and gentlemen. Take, for instance, the corporation. I am the chairman of the finance committee of the corporation. 2019-2020, our budgetary allocation under recurrent was $65,377,300. Under DP was $16,850,000. You know what we received? Here what we received, $57,082,089. That is what we received in 2019-2020. So they fool you by giving you a big amount, but you're getting less. In 2020-2021, our current allocation was $58,212,493. Our DP allocation was $10,500,000. Up to March this year, you know what we received? $28,496,999. You tell me, that is what we put all in there to do? To look after the needs of the people? And that is what you should be doing. But I want to make it very clear, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, I've given the better part of my life in serving my people. But the best is yet to come. I'm going to stand up and fight for you. I said it before when I first came into government as a councillor. I'm going to make my electoral district, Rio Claro North, a little piece of heaven on earth. And I intend to do just that. So once again, I want to commend my Prime Minister, which I say my political leader, she's my Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, for doing such a wonderful job. I want you to continue. We are here to support you, and I'm going to stand by you wherever you go. Once again, long live the United National Congress. Long live our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I thank you.
Thank you, long-standing servant of the people at the local government level, Councillor Azari Ramdeen. And of course, what is evident, brothers and sisters, arising from this level of accountability of the United National Congress platform is that this country is reaping the whirlwind from being duped, conned, and deceived by a government of ruse, conspiracy theories, and decoys, cementing its fangs while they plundered every turn. And just a brief note on WASA, 6 years later, 4 ministers of public utilities, billions spent, belated audit reports, and WASA has reached ground zero. WASA is not the problem, of course. This is a PNM problem. This is an indictment on the part of the PNM. When we look at the $500 million in overtime over the last 5 years, it shows there is non-existent oversight. The Cabinet Committee on WASA reported that WASA is a breeding ground for corruption and it is an unproductive agency. Seems like the cabinet is in the mirror, man in the mirror. Brothers and sisters, at this time, I'd like to welcome to the True Talk Thursday platform the Mayaro version. A young speaker who comes from the bosom of a hardcore UNC family, where growing up, all she heard about and experienced was UNC campaigns and political meetings as exposed to her by her mother, activist extraordinary Akisun. She may very well be the youngest, smartest, and prettiest member of council across the regional corporations. At the tender age of 24 years, she is a graduate of St. Thomas RC Primary School, St. Stephen's College, and University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. She is the holder of a bachelor's degree in criminology and criminal justice, a vibrant youth empowerment activist, an agent for change and transformation of the district. Please welcome the distinguished servant for Kokal Mafikin, Ms. Renal Kisoon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for that very warm welcome. Political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Member of Parliament for Mayaro, Mr. Rushton Paré, dignitaries of the UNC family, Team Kokal Mafikin, listening and viewing public, good evening. It is a great pleasure to join with my distinguished colleagues on this week's True Talk Thursday platform, representing the electoral district of Kokal Mafikin in the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. And the Mayaro region, just like the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, is a victim of gross negligence by a PNM administration that is simply out of control. Tonight, I am here to speak Mayaro's truth. Lucky for me, I belong to a party where young people have a real voice. A party where our honorable political leader believes in the limitless potential of youth and the beauty of their vision. It is because of these guiding principles that I was not only selected to contest an election under the UNC banner, but it is the very reason that I am allowed to stand and address you here tonight. And according to soca artist Voice, tonight I am going to talk the things. I am most certain that when the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago elected this PNM administration into office, they never could have possibly imagined things getting worse. But little did they know that under the PNM, things will always get worse. In Mayaro, we need only walk outside our doors, look at the conditions of our roads in Plumita, Kernaham, Cascadoo, that our farmers utilize daily, and we will know that under the PNM's tenure, our roads have simply gotten worse. We need only open a tap in Ottawa, Rest House, Mafikin, Bristol, and we will know that under the PNM's tenure, our water supply has simply gotten worse. This is compounded by inadequate and often delayed funding for the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation. Now we get it. The PNM doesn't like the UNC. But at the very least, have a heart for the residents of Mayaro now. Have a heart for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, your very own country. Tell me, and now this is PNM logic, how can councillors of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation effectively fulfill their duties with reduced funding year on year, whilst the demands of our population grows larger each year? PNM logic. And as a young person, I look on in horror upon seeing the political spite and victimization that is meted out to the MRCRC. And who does this really affect? Now think about it. It affects our hard-working citizens of this country who place their hope and their trust in a government to see about their needs. But we in the UNC will continue to talk the things. We will continue to fight and to lobby for more funding and for the expeditious release of those funds. We are in your corner. And speaking of corners, there is no doubt in my mind that Mayaro is one of the most beautiful corners of Trinidad and Tobago. The tourism potential in our constituency is arguably the greatest when compared to others within Trinidad. And yet, hear this, And yet, in a time of COVID-19, when no one can travel internationally, we have a government that is sleeping on Mayaro's potential. Again, PNM logic. Well, I tell you, the PNM has a very unique skill of making anything worse. Under the People's Partnership Government, led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, a major tourism development project in the form of the Lago Du Integrated Hotel and Resort Development 1 was in the works. The UNC had a vision for the 17 miles of beaches currently underutilized in Mayaro. The UNC envisioned washroom facilities on the beachfront. Now, we just came out of an Easter weekend when not one public convenience in Mayaro was operational. And why? It is because of the lack of funding and lack of priority by a most uncaring and unconcerned government. The UNC envisioned guided tours and canoe trips up the rivers of Mayaro, with bird watching camps and proper information booths. All of this as part of a local development project, a project that was scrapped by this regressive PNM regime, a project that was about to contribute 600 plus jobs during construction and 300 jobs upon completion, and it was rubbished because of a visionless administration. Can you imagine the boost that such a project would have had on our local economy? Can you imagine the spin-off benefits to be derived? Yes, I know you can. And we in the UNC, we have envisioned it. But somehow, my friends, not one person in the PNM can envision the project. Brothers and sisters, we need only look at our CARICOM neighbors and we will see how far back we have gone under the PNM. Barbados, in understanding that tourism was under siege, took front before front take them and instituted the Work from Home Tourism Trust. Their government introduced a 12-month Barbados welcome stamp, where with this visa stamp, individuals were allowed to work remotely in Barbados for a maximum of 12 months. That, my friends, is innovation. That is creativity. So you see, while we shut our borders to all, or sorry, as some might say, to all except the PNM friends and family, other Caribbean countries were fast at work trying to implement feasible and practical tourism solutions. Now, as I speak, I am most certain that there are some operatives in the back somewhere who are preparing defenses to every single concern or issue raised here tonight. Do not study those people. They are very good at responding after the fact. They are not good, however, at responding to your needs, to your fears, or to your cries. But tonight, my friends, whether they respond or not, I will continue to talk the things. My Mayaro family, I want you to consider the level of unemployment and underemployment that consumes our beautiful corner today. I want you to reflect on the struggle to send your children to school and the greater struggle that awaits them once they complete their studies. And I am not here guessing tonight. I have witnessed the great woman and my mother struggle to raise and educate 6 children. So I know struggle when I see it. And the struggles today is not the struggles from 5 or 10 years ago. The struggles today have been created through incompetence, neglect, nepotism, and gross mismanagement. From the Cotton Gate, the shutdown of the laptop program, the cut in scholarships and bursaries, cut. One can only imagine now what a prosperous, what a sustainable and economically viable Mayaro we would have seen under the steady and caring leadership of the UNC and Kamla Persad-Bissessar. But we all know the very old adage that sometimes we must burn to learn. And maybe, my friends, just maybe, that statement might be true. To my CXE, CAPE, UE, UTT, COSTAT, USC students and graduates, how frustrating has it been applying and applying and applying for positions that you will never get through with, either because of corruption or because you are overqualified for the position. Recently, it was my experience speaking with a mother, and she said that she didn't see the real advantages of sending her child, sacrificing and sending her child to school today. And that was so very sad. How very far have we fallen as a country? But that, my friends, is just one side of the coin. What about the skilled laborers, the welders, the carpenters, the plumbers, the electricians? What about the craftswomen and men? And what about our entrepreneurs? Without the stimulation of the local economy, everyone feels a sense of hopelessness. It is that sense of national hopelessness that leads to desperation, the consequences of which we are very well established. It requires a government that is interested in building the local economy. We need now more than ever a government that is interested in building human capacity. We need a government that creates opportunities for employment. In simple, we need a UNC government. A government that has a proven track record of creating 50,000 plus jobs in less than 5 years. While under this PNM, we have had 50,000 plus jobs lost, plus person displaced. We are now in a position of hopelessness in 5 years. My friends, my sisters, brothers, youth, wake up, stand up, and speak up. Talk the things and talk the things that need to be said. Because unless we do, unless you and I do, there is no future to look forward to. The future we need is a future where there is opportunity for all. The future we need is a future where our leadership displays compassion and empathy. And that future requires leaders who are innovative, who are creative, and who are game changers. It requires diplomacy and tact. It requires fairness and trust, especially in our social institution. And there is no such future under this PNM regime. So therefore, I wish to take this time to thank my political leader for giving me the opportunity to fight for what I deserve. And Kokal Mafikin, Mayaro, I will forever continue to talk the things they need to hear. Long live the United National Congress. Long live my political leader. God bless us all, and I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Renel Kissoon. Very incisive, well-researched presentation from the distinguished servant for Kokal Mafikin. And of course, brothers and sisters, she spoke on the issue of diversification, which is taboo under this PNM government, but we have seen nothing for tourism, which is a pillar for diversification, nothing for tourism in the region of Mayaro, Rio Claro. Under the UNC People's Partnership, we established growth poles, the blue, the green, the silver economy. But under this PNM, all we have is potholes of stagnation and non-existent growth. Our public debt stands at $124 billion, 90% of our GDP, thanks to Rowley, Imbert, and Al Recusal, Al Legal Briefs for the Family. Not one new job has been created in our region in spite of these billions spent over the past few years. We need a UNC now more than ever. We need to stand up, as she said, wake up, speak up, and take command of our future now. The leadership that served our country with distinction, with compassion and humility, is gone, but it's not gone forever. We have an opportunity to secure a future, stand firm with the UNC, and that is why we are doing these virtual platforms to bring enlightenment and consciousness to you. Brothers and sisters, at this time it gives me great pleasure to bring on the next speaker to this virtual platform, True Talk Thursday. He entered politics in 1986 as a member of the formidable National Alliance for Reconstruction. He is a renowned community servant with distinguished service at the level of the Mayaro Lions Club, former member of the Mayaro Unemployment Organization, Village Council, founder of GoyaFest, former member of the local school board, former branch secretary of the OWTU Union. He retired as an electrical supervisor at Petrotrin after 38 years. He was a former councillor for the district of Mayaro Guayguari from 1987 to 1991. And again in 2010 to 2013. He's spiritually grounded and patriotically Mayaro Rio Claro to the core. Please welcome our team leader of council, chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, Alderman Pastor Raymond Cozier, to True Talk Thursday.
Pleasant evening to each and everyone, all who are locked on this evening, nationally and internationally. Let me recognize our Member of Parliament, Mr. Rushton Parry, and all of my team members. Let me also recognize my political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I take this opportunity to thank my competent team members who so effectively and efficiently shared with us tonight the issues that confronts the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, and in particular the region of Mayaro Rio Claro. It might sound as we are complaining, but in politics and everything in life, you got to show the things you do. You got to justify the reason why you should be considered for election. You got to show the reason why you should be considered to be given a position. We are here tonight to justify the reason why the United National Congress should be the government of Trinidad and Tobago, and at the next opportune time, the government to be elected into office is the United National Congress. We all know that economies around the world are in tailspin. We all know that economies around the world are facing serious challenges. But this is the time when you will see the mettle, the competence or incompetence, the innovative, the resilience of a government to be creative, to deliver. Because it is imperative for a government to deliver. That's why they're elected. They are elected into office to deliver. You as a parent, when your child in your house says, "Daddy, I am hungry," could you tell the child things bad? Could you tell the child you don't have? The child does not understand those languages. All the child understands is to deliver the need of food. So when the residents of Mayaro Rio Claro and of Trinidad and Tobago makes the necessary requests and demands for the necessities that they need in the different regions, how could we just say we don't have, or the government don't give? When the residents of Trinidad and Tobago, or the residents of Mayaro, Rio Claro in particular, the residents in Beach, the residents in Mayaro, the residents in Mayaro, the residents in Ecclesville, the residents in Kokal Mafikin, comes to the councillor or comes to the chairman and make the different recommendation and request to have things done. You're looking for employment. You're looking to get the roads paved. You're looking to get the drains clean. You're looking to have the grounds cut. You're looking to have your cesspit emptied. You're looking for truck-borne water to be delivered to you. How could we just say the government don't deliver, so we can't do it? They don't want to hear that. People want the delivery to be afforded to them. And this is the problem with this government. So when we come here tonight, True Talk Thursday, we come to be truthful to you. We can't be hypocritical. We cannot be deceitful. We can't come to do like them and say lies after lies. We come here tonight to share the realities of the situation that is happening in the region and that is affecting locally, our own local community and the national community. This is the time that really and truly we really need a government that has the tenacity, that has the capacity to be creative, to develop, to come with new ideas and new vision. This is the time we really need a visionary leader. The leader has no plan, he has no answer, he has no vision, he don't know where to take us. Right now, we do not know where we're going, where we at, what is the next move? Where are we going in Trinidad and Tobago? What is going to happen in a few months from now? What is going to happen in our nation? No amount of scaremongering, distractions, is going to sustain any solutions to the problem. We got to be real. That's why we got to thank the leader for naming this section True Talk Thursday. We giving true talk because no rant and rave could change the situation. We got to be real. We got to be truthful. A classic example of the creativity and innovation of our Caribbean neighbors, like Barbados and Antigua and Barbuda and Grenada, to name a few, they have survived only on tourism. And remember the past UNC government, when we managed this country on $9 an oil, $9 a barrel of oil. Remember that? And remember the kind of deliveries that was delivered to Trinidad and Tobago with $9 a barrel. That is the kind of leadership, the kind of management of a country we need right now. Brothers and sisters, this is True Talk Thursday. We are here to share true information with you, the listening public. You know, say, it is clear to us. It is clear to us that money is not the problem. It is clear to us the problem is not money. The reality is what they're doing with money. I always hear my old man always say, boy, it's not how much money you work for. It's what you're doing with the money you work for. So it's not how much money this government getting, no. It's what they are doing with the money that they're getting. There's a quote from Mahatma Gandhi which says, There is always enough for everyone's needs. But there's never enough for everyone's greed. And that's what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago today. The top exercising the kind of greed to fill all the pockets of the have, and the have not continue to have not. True Talk Thursday. True Talk Thursday. Brothers and sisters, for all intents and purposes, the People's National Movement government is happy with the status quo of this dependency syndrome, of this sympathy. Remember Petrotrin, and remember how they set it up nice and get the whole country to sympathize with the whole exercise. When they say a cleaner working for $20,000 a month. So the sympathy vote is that whole sympathetic situation that can't work right now. That can't work. We sympathy not helping us. We got to be real. True Talk Thursday, we got to face the reality of the situation and come up with how are we going to better the situation in Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, I just want to leave a message. Local government reform has been bantering around for years. And at this time now, we need to reform because the need to have a new local economical development economy, a new local strategy of how we're going to be able to raise funds and create and be innovative and create the economies locally to cater for the people of our community. Our communities are in serious dilemma. We need job opportunities. We need agricultural opportunities. We need business opportunities. We need educational opportunities. My brothers and sisters, things only happen under a United National Congress government. And today, I want to thank the Lord for allowing Kamla Prasad Bisesa to lead this country from 2010 to 2015 to create the kind of activities and development that this country has seen. We thank God for that opportunity, and we await 2025 when this government is removed. Thank you.
Alderman, Pastor, Chairman of the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, Sir Raymond Cozier. And of course, simply he's asking, how did we reach here? And what have we done to reach to this point? But what must be done going forward to get us out of this tragic morass? Because no matter what they do, and they've done so many things, Rowley and the PNM still has no plan for this country. The blame COVID, failure, that's evaporating. The failed government policy of blame Kamla, dissipating. Who will they blame now? Brothers and sisters, I want to say good night to the viewers on the live from Rio Claro, from Ecclesville, from Bish, from Mayaro, from Guayguari, and the wider live loyalists on the UNC platforms. Good night to my political leader, all members of parliament, members of council, Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, on this True Talk Thursday, the Mayaro version, I'm very honored to introduce the next speaker who commands the political administrative arm of the constituency of Mayaro, the man of the moment, the man of vision and purpose, a critical thinker and successful entrepreneur of the region. someone who understands the ideals of human development, diversification, and transformational leadership, a tower of articulation and intelligence. Elected in 2015 as a Member of Parliament for Mayaro, he has been an outstanding and well-researched member of the Joint Select Committees on Cannabis Authority, the Fisheries Authority 2020, a family man, happily married and the father of 3 brilliant and beautiful young professional daughters. He is the UNC's Shadow Minister of Trade and Industry and Vice Chairman of the Public Accounts and Enterprise Committee. Please welcome to the virtual platform a man with a renewed mandate to represent the people of the Mayaro constituency 2020 to 2025 going forward, the Atlantic powerhouse, the Member of Parliament, the Honorable Rushton V.J. Parry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Political Leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, my parliamentary colleagues, my excellent team at the Mayaro Rio Claro Regional Corporation, who are under the leadership of our esteemed Chairman, Alderman Raymond Cozier, our national and international audience listening and viewing on the World Wide Web, a very pleasant good evening. I also want to acknowledge those in our audience who have lost their jobs, their businesses, their homes, and those who have also been affected in any other financial way because of the PNM's gross mishandling of this economy. You have just heard, my brothers and sisters, the challenges faced by the people of the Mayaro constituency. Our local government representatives have just described a compendium of issues ranging from water, to roads, to agriculture, to joblessness, to homelessness, to hunger. That is True Talk this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, as we meet today, hardship, poverty, hunger, and suffering are stalking Trinidad and Tobago. That is True Talk, ladies and gentlemen. More workers are without jobs than at any other time in this generation. That is True Talk, ladies and gentlemen. The economy is in its worst state since the 1980s, when a then PNM regime also mismanaged the economy, and George Chambers inflicted all kinds of cruel taxes on the suffering of people. That, my brothers and sisters, led to thousands of workers losing their jobs, their homes, being unable to buy food and school books, to pay their rent, to purchase medicine, to service their car loans. Brothers and sisters, those bad days have returned. You can feel it throughout the country. There is a mood of frustration, of depression, of distress. And with the latest lockdown of the economy, things would get even worse. That is True Talks, ladies and gentlemen. Only this week, top economist Dr. Roger Hussein said that the country is broke. When the finance minister have to borrow $1 billion a month to pay salaries and wages, that is a signal that we are broke. The head of DOMA, Mr. Gregory Aboud, says that we are in the midst of an economic pandemic and that the situation is very gloomy. They are both right, my brothers and sisters. This is the most terrible state our national economy has ever been in living memory. Those who are in the kitchen are feeling the heat. Today, brothers and sisters, while the Rowley government is asleep at the wheel, the economy is 20% worse off than when Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar left it in 2015. And in spite of what they are telling us, there is no or very little prospect for growth in the near and midterm future. Under the leadership of the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, she left the small and medium-sized sector with almost 20,000 businesses, employing over 200,000 workers, which contributed 30% of the GDP of Trinidad and Tobago. As Prime Minister, she knew the value of medium-sized businesses, small businesses. She introduced specific policies and programs to support and to grow the sector. Today, my brothers and sisters, businesses are falling like flies, and they are being forced to send home workers to face their hungry families. About 75,000 workers as of today in small and medium-sized businesses have lost their jobs in recent time, simply because they cannot afford to buy goods and services. And the woeful PNM government is doing nothing about it. Shops that used to employ family and community help have had to shut down in vast numbers. Manufacturers have had to close their operations or reduce their production. In both cases, workers have been sent home again. Workers have lost jobs in every sector of this economy, from oil to construction, to services, to hospitality, to communications in the private sector, to real estate, in every single area of economic activity. In some cases, brothers and sisters, workers in the informal sector have lost out to undocumented immigrants. Illegal migrants are entering the country through our porous borders and are displacing workers who provide various community services. That is the true state of affairs of Trinidad and Tobago today, my brothers and sisters. This is the True Talk Thursday platform. The COVID-19 stimulus packages that the PNM bragged about, $18 billion worth of spend on COVID-19, did not reach many businesses. It provided only limited support to a small number of businesses and workers. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, the worsening crisis with foreign exchange has created a thriving black market, which has sent up the cost of goods. And remember that almost 90% of what we consume is imported. So workers are being laid off. They can't afford to buy consumer goods. Poor sales are causing businesses to crash. It is a continuous downward spiral under this PNM Rowley administration. As Mr. Aboud well put it, he said, it is a storm within a storm. While progressive countries, as my young counselors identified, around the world have implemented responsible and intelligent responses to the pandemic to save businesses, the PNM could not care less. Entrepreneurs have had to face their monthly bank charges, even though sales are bleak and foreign exchange is scarce and costly. Brothers and sisters, on this True Talk Thursday night, it is water more than flour. Hardship is building upon hardship on the citizens of this country. We have pleaded with the government to bring stability to this affected sector, to ensure business continuity and to save jobs. That has landed on deaf ears, my brothers and sisters. The government has refused to support such measures as ongoing waivers of bank interest and of penalties on overdraft and deferment of mortgage payments. Local conglomerates and other large businesses have around $12 billion, which they are not investing in the country because of the horrible policies and overall weak governance of this Rowley-led administration. Manufacturers say that they want to double output by 2025, but the government is not supporting their plans. On top of that, brothers and sisters, there is no equity in the distribution of the scarce foreign exchange. Importers of luxury items are getting preferential treatment ahead of those who bring in essential food and life-saving pharmaceuticals. If you look at today's newspaper, there is a shortage of pharmaceuticals in this country. The lack of foreign exchange is putting pressure on these pharmaceutical importers. The PNM government is looking after its family and friends without any consideration for the working poor in this country, ladies and gentlemen. The government owes businesses hundreds of millions of dollars in VAT refunds, which could be used not only to pay bill, but to increase investment by those companies to create new jobs. Competent governments are having discussions with chambers of commerce, manufacturers organizations, trade unions, and other stakeholders on ways to stimulate their economies and to protect business and employment. Brothers and sisters, this is happening in Britain, in the US, in Europe, and even in our CARICOM neighborhood countries, but not in Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters. Here's what Mr. Aboud had to say. Many of the major decisions being taken are devoid of the input and participation of those who know economics and who are the experts in business management. In other words, what he's telling Rowley is that the PNM doesn't know its arm from its elbow about running this economy. And the PNM is refusing to take advice. Other business bosses are quietly saying the same thing, brothers and sisters. And still the government will not consult with knowledgeable people and accept quality advice in order to take Trinidad and Tobago out of this economic hellhole. But we should not be surprised. The government cannot even secure COVID-19 vaccines for its citizens in any credible way to meet the 70% mandate that we have for herd immunity. Our country is last in all CARICOM states in vaccinating its people. We are behind most countries of the world. In Britain, brothers and sisters, the situation has improved so much that people can return to the pubs and drink a beer. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have to bear with a hopeless and incompetent administration. Because of this government's poor handling of the pandemic, we cannot even enjoy a game of cricket. But in India, a land of 1.3 billion people, they are hosting the world's biggest cricket tournament, the IPL. It looks like if our Prime Minister has closed the government down and gone on a permanent vacation. Look at the agricultural sector as another example. Councillor Muna and Renell described the situation quite clearly in the Mayaro constituency. The government has made repeated promises to boost agricultural production and to expand agro-processing. But again, not a single thing has been done in 6 years. Those measures would have created jobs and reduced the food import bill, which is still $6 billion a year, even in these tough economic times. We are facing higher food prices because of the challenges in the food chain delivery system caused by the pandemic. You would notice within recent times, basic items like rice, sugar, flour, oil have all skyrocketed. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, the Forex black market is further sending up the cost of imported goods. This Rowley-led administration has not assisted our farmers in planting a single plot of tomatoes, or melangen, or bhaji, or bodi, or pumpkin, or cucumbers. But the finance minister devoted pages in his latest budget address to talk about rapid expansion in food production and marketing. Those were promises after promises, PNM style. International experts have been warning that this pandemic could result in labor shortages, shipping issues, and increased cost of imported food. That will mean a bigger grocery bill for every citizen at the end of the day. But we must always think about the elderly, pensioners, single mothers, and those who are on fixed income. Brothers and sisters, many governments have placed priority on growing more food in order to feed their citizens in these troubled times, but not this Keith Rowley regime. Councillor Renell described the challenges in our local tourism sector in Mayaro. Capable governments all over the world, brothers and sisters, are also working to boost their domestic tourism in order to stir local business opportunities. Various incentives are being given to the hospitality sector and to holiday makers. In this country, brothers and sisters, the Tobago destination is under pressure because of travel accommodation, and other challenges. Other exciting areas such as Mayaro and the entire eastern seaboard remain underutilized by this Rowley-led regime. An unimaginative Minister of Tourism would have worked with stakeholders to develop vacation and friendly plans. It makes you wonder, just what does the Minister of Tourism do? I suspect he may be doing the same thing that the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Finance does when the day come. Nothing. On top of all of that, brothers and sisters, the PNM government has not been able to attract a single international business investor in its 5.5 years in office. Not one. The administration, which was led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, brought in investments at the rate of $1.5 billion a year. Sadly, the current state of play will not change for two important reasons. One is that Trinidad and Tobago ranks amongst the worst in the world in the crucial factors that investors look at. It's called the ease of doing business. At 105, which is where Trinidad and Tobago stands, it means that there are 104 places better suited for capital investment by our foreign investors. For example, in this country, it takes 3.5 years to enforce contracts, 245 days to receive construction permits. Who wants to invest in a place with so much red tape and bungling when there are many other efficient countries, 104 of them? On top of that, the PNM government has weakened a modern procurement law that Mrs. Persad-Bissessar's government had gotten enacted in 2014. All service and international contracts have been removed from the jurisdiction of the law. The legislation is a shell, like what exists in backward corrupt societies. The PNM gutted this law so that it can dish out lucrative contracts to their families and friends without facing the scrutiny of the procurement regulator. They want to make it easier to raid what is left of our national treasury. This weakening of the procurement legislation, brothers and sisters, will put us in an extremely bad and negative light in the view of our foreign investors. But brothers and sisters, the country is not irreparable. The Mayaro constituency is not irreparable. The UNC, under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, can put Mayaro and Trinidad and Tobago back to work. If I could just share a few examples for you, brothers and sisters. A UNC government under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar would complete the phase 2 of the Galeota port to activate and resuscitate maritime activities, more so to access the billion-dollar energy sector in Guyana and Suriname. This would put thousands of young and not so young Mayaro constituents back to work. Mayaro has over 50 years experience in the energy sector. That is something that any sensible government will put into active capacity and put to use. Brothers and sisters, many of you know the boom that's happening in Guyana, the maritime activities with regards to drilling ships, supply vessels. The Galeota port can pick up 50% of that activities that can bring in the much needed foreign currency that we so badly need to run our country. A UNC government would put back a 24/7 water service in your pipelines by investing in new and maintaining existing water wells in the Mayaro community. We, the UNC, would bring the water production facility in Petrotrin into full operation, which will immediately service Galeota and Guayaguayari. We would complete the reinstallation of new main lines leaving the Nava Dam, which services Rio Claro and surrounding communities. A UNC government under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar would see our East Coast as a prime developmental pole in the local tourism sector. In a post-COVID-19 world, the urge to travel and recreate is going to surge. Countries and communities that prepare their tourism product from now will open the world of opportunities for our entrepreneurs. We will put Mayaro back to work. These issues, brothers and sisters, are just a snapshot of some of the urgent ones in Trinidad and Tobago at the hands of the most pathetic and clueless government in the country's history. This administration has brought our great country to its knees in the same way that the predecessor PNM regimes have done. They have wrecked the small and medium-sized business sector, which is an important economic backbone in all countries to inspire entrepreneurship, to provide jobs, and to instill additional energy to communities. They have sent home more workers than any other prime minister, well, except George Chambers. Their record on investments is worse than every other government, including that of Dr. Eric Williams in the colonial and independence era. But brothers and sisters, we cannot sit idly and allow this inept PNM regime to tear apart our land. I urge you sincerely to encourage your trade unions, your NGOs, your business groups, your community bodies, faith organizations, and others to stand up and speak out against this rowdy regime. I encourage you to expose them in the media, in whatever groups you belong to, with everyone with whom you have an influence. Trinidad and Tobago belongs to all of us, and we must not permit a hopeless and dreadful government to destroy our land and wreck our dreams and that of our children. To my constituents of Mayaro, I urge you to keep the faith. To the political leader, I want to let you know that Mayaro is in good hands. You would have heard our young councillors, or not so young councillors, or aldermen this evening. We are in charge in Mayaro, and we are strong. I urge the people of Trinidad and Tobago to stay strong, keep the faith, and spread the gospel of the United National Congress. May God bless our political leader. May God bless our strong party. May God bless the United National Congress. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Thank you to the distinguished Member of Parliament. Very comprehensive, insightful presentation. And simply he asks Trinidad and Tobago, those of you viewing live on True Talk Thursday, can we get worse than this? It is time, more than ever, to get it right. Rowley and the PNM is the biggest blight that ever came across Trinidad and Tobago. For them, it is forward never, backward ever. Brothers and sisters, in the recent debate on the anti-gang amendment bill, I heard the Attorney General Al Rich's family, and to paraphrase him, he said, we must fight back against the ruin, chaos, and destruction. And I most definitely concur, because under this government, our democracy is under assault. We must fight back against the record-breaking recusals. We must fight back against the ruin and the decimation of our economy by a band of modern-day buccaneers and a modern-day plantocracy. We must fight back and restore progressive and productive governance to Trinidad and Tobago. We must fight back to save Trinidad and Tobago from the raging criminality and corruption. We must fight back, brothers and sisters, to save Trinidad and Tobago. And this can only happen under the return, the restoration of the United National Congress to the corridors of government, led by none other than the most productive, compassionate, and visionary leader, Kamla Persad Bissessa. At this time, brothers and sisters, we'd like to invite you to stay tuned to our next UNC Virtual Monday Night Forum, the next True Talk Thursday, and the UNC's Sunday morning press conferences. Thanks to Team Mayaro and the UNC production team. As I close, let me extend Eid Mubarak greetings to the Muslim community during this period of fasting and meditation, and also to the Hindu community during the period of Naratam. This is True Talk Thursday. Long live the United National Congress. Long live Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Good night. God bless.
Hey, Judy, girl, Judy, turn down that Douglas politics. We have to do the promo, girl. Turn down the music. And what is that tune you're listening to, Judy? Douglas politics, Friday night. Oh Lord, the alarm's going off. Fire truck, police, ambulance. Everybody stay on alert for people playing music. Don't play music. The music bringing the COVID. The COVID not on Cobo. It's not on illegal immigrants coming across the seas from Venezuela. The COVID not in the fool in Tobago. The COVID in the music. Oh Lord, blame it on the music. Douglas politics, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. No music. I wonder if COVID does come with loud voice too. Oh Lord, Douglas politics, 7:30 p.m. Friday. We starting on time. Be there. Douglas politics.
No high UNC official met any PDP official.
You don't need the UNC to pass the bill.
This is the worst and they need to go.
Fire burn you, Guardian.
How much more could we tolerate?
You lack the intellect and the competence.
Everywhere else is vaccinating except Trinidad and Tobago.
You cannot pay people money that you owe them.